Good evening. Freddie Vasquez here. Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, a mayor versus a congressman. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, a mayor versus a congressman. Good evening, folks. Good evening, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. How are you doing this evening? I was trying to come on a little bit early. I was trying to come on 8. I try to make it at 8. I just can't. So much going on. So much going on at around 7-ish, 8-ish. Can't get on. But anyway, I'm here. I'm on. And tonight's episode is a mayor versus a congressman. And I want to continue on the discussion on the fallout of Mayor Spano's comments recently, last week, in an interview. I mean, if you type it up, if you go online and you put Mike Spano or Mayor Spano and Jamal Bowman, or even just Mike Spano, Mayor Spano, you see it all. It comes all on the search engines. Mike Spano, is being asked for an apology. NAACP demands an apology, public apology. Black Westchester Democrats, Black Westchester Democrats is what it's called. Westchester Black Democrats, I'm sorry, also is demanding an apology. The Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus is demanding public apologies. African American community here in the city of Yonkers are demanding an apology. And my apologies for not saying the name correctly of the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus. I was saying Democratic Caucus. My apologies, and I want to get that right. So I apologize about that. So yeah, everyone is asking for a public apology. It's all over. It's all over the internet. It's all over Twitter. Yeah, that's right, folks. Twitter is going crazy over this. Over the comments made by the mayor last week on Thursday. Everyone is demanding an apology. People are saying that goes to show his underlying racism, his underlying racist views, shows who he really is exposing who the mayor truly is. And with all the comments, right, with all the statements that have been released, with all the demands for a public apology from various organizations and people within the community leaders, activists, organizers, we haven't heard from the council. The Yonkers City Council, made up primarily of African American women, 3 African American women and a Latina, who is a black skinned Latina, dark skinned, darker than me, on the council, 4 out of the 7. Right. And we haven't heard anything from the Yonkers City Council. No one has released a statement, not even Councilwoman Shanae Williams, who is actually a honorary member of the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus. Well, what does it stem from? It stems from comments. Yeah. Well, what comments? Well, he made, and I don't have the exact word for word, so almost, excuse me if I don't say verbatim, but he said that Mayor Mike Spano said that Congressman Jamal Bowman should be arrested for voting no on the infrastructure bill. And now we're talking about the racism and all the comments, and they show a lack of awareness on behalf of the mayor. It shows who he really is. He's really a person that's racist, or I don't know if a lot of people are focusing on exactly what the infrastructure bill is, right? What is it that, it's involved in? What is it that Congressman Jamal Bowman voted no on, right? And what is it that Mayor Spano is upset about, about him voting no on, that he would make comments that would lead to such a, huge fallout? And I've reached out to City Hall in my ways, and you know, from what I got is that the mayor is not going to make comments because, he feels like it's being blown out of proportion. It's ridiculous for people to imply that he was meaning anything other than just playing off the fact that the congressman was recently arrested for protesting. Right, and so I don't know if we're going to hear a public statement from the mayor at all. I don't think so. I don't know if there's anything that's pressing why he, would make him issue a comment. I mean, does it hurt his chances if he is going to run for Congress, if he is going to run against Jamal Bowman? Did he just hurt himself by making such comments and then further hurt his chances by not acknowledging, people's frustration, anger, and hurt publicly, not validating people's feelings? Did he just hurt his chances? Did he even have a chance to begin with? Right? Did he even have a chance to begin with? Well, he has a lot of money. That's for sure. From what I hear, his PAC, he has money through a PAC to the tune of $1.72 million, almost $2 million, compared to Congressman Bowman's $309,000, maybe less than that. Right? But does that matter now? But does that matter after these comments that he made in an interview with Phil Reisman? Did he just kill any chance he may have had at becoming the next congressman for the 16th Congressional District? The mayor is very strong through his older brother, Nick Spano. Nick Spano, former senator, has been up in Albany, has built strong connections, strong allegiances, strong alliances. These alliances have benefited the entire Spano family, politically and otherwise, right? And as a result of these relationships that Nick Spano has built along the years of being in Albany, he gets a lot of support, whether people publicly mention it or not. He gets a lot of support. And more importantly, he gets a lot of financial support, right? I mean, he got guys to come out for the Governor Cuomo, for a fundraiser he did here in the city of Yonkers, where he was able to get, doctors out, and these guys were writing $10,000 checks. So he knows how to draw money. He knows how to get money for other political, candidates or elected officials. And that's why he has developed strong relationships, and, money talks and walks, right? Right. According to some, Mike Spano, and I'm not trying to say this to be insulting, I'm just trying to get a little background. They say he's not that bright, relies on the people around him. And that's why I mention it, because, again, they say that his older brother, Nick Spano, is where he draws his power from, his strength from, his guidance in, navigating this political jungle here in Yonkers, right? All right, so he relies on the people around him, and some would say that Nick Spano is the official mayor of the city of Yonkers. People do not want to see a fourth term. All right, so I don't know if he's going to go for a fourth term, and maybe that's why he's toying with the idea of running for Congress, right? Or is that just smoke and mirrors, and then we're going to hear about a fourth term? Or maybe another political position, maybe other political aspirations. Some say governor, right? That's what I've heard. I don't know if you guys have heard that. But people do not want to see a fourth term. And I've heard this from people who say they like the mayor. They've said, I like Mayor Spano. It's not because I don't like him. We just don't want to see a fourth term. So maybe that's why he decided toward the idea of running for Congress, and specifically against Jamal Bowman, Congressman Jamal Bowman, who is new to politics compared to the history that not only Mike Spano, but the Spano name in general has in politics here in the state of New York, and not just Yonkers, not just Westchester, the state of New York. So maybe he sees that as an easy target, as an easy adversary, because of his lack of experience, lack of connections. He's also been taking, the congressman has also been taking a lot of flack lately, right? He's kind of in the, he is. He's not kind. He is in the minority when it comes to voting no on the infrastructure bill, even within his own party, right? So he kind of strayed away from party leaders when he voted no on the, on the infrastructure bill. Wasn't happy with the way it was going to go down, and I'll get to that in a minute. Actually, I'll get to it right now. Congressman Bowman voted no on Biden's $1 trillion infrastructure plan. And the reason was because it wasn't going to include the Build Back Better bill, right? And he wanted to vote. They wanted to actually, they didn't include it. It was initially they thought it was going to be voted on together, right? There's two parts to this bill, and I'll explain that in a second. And initially, he was under the impression, the congressman, that it was going to be voted all together at the same time. This was to take place on a Friday. When it came down to the vote, they said, no, we're going to just vote on the infrastructure bill, part of it, what's called the infrastructure bill, that part of it, and then we'll wait for the other part of it, which deals with more of social issues, child care, education, and I'll get to the rest of that in a minute. The part that they wanted to vote on first had to do with repairing of roads and bridges and trains and expanding broadband access to millions of Americans. And they said they'd wait, and he didn't like it. He said, no, we agreed that we vote on it together at this, I should say, at the same time, and now we're changing it up. So no, he voted no on it. And so this obviously led to the comments that were made by the mayor in an interview on Thursday, where they discussed the infrastructure bill. And he just thought that, I guess, the congressman deserved to be arrested. Right? Could be tongue in cheek, but people are not taking it that way. It's not funny at all to many people. A lot of angry people. Right? So why did he vote no on it? Again, because he wanted to vote on both parts of it at the same time. Right? He was in the minority. He was with 6 progressive Dems who voted no. One of them included AOC, Alexandria Stewart cousin, Alexandria Ocasio. Am I saying that right? Alexandria Ocasio, right? She was one of the 6 progressive Dems that voted no. So he's in the minority, Congressman Bowman, right? And so the issue was, and why the rest of Congress said we should wait, is because they wanted to get the the official estimates of the cost, right? They wanted to make sure before they voted on that second part that they got the official estimates of the cost from the Congressional Budget Office, so they can assure that the cost was aligned with what they had initially anticipated, what they were hoping it'd be. Congressman Bowman said, but what was the need for that when the infrastructure bill and both parts of it were vetted by the House and the White House? Right? So Mayor Spano felt that it should have been voted on. And I have my I'll give you my opinions why, I believe people are pushing for this part of the bill more so than the other part, right? When it comes to helping the people, that always gets pushed to the back burner. Right? So what is the infrastructure bill? It's meant to create jobs. They say about 1.5 million jobs will be created in 10 years. Fix crumbling bridges and roads and expanding broadband access to millions of Americans, because there's so many without internet access. I mean, even homeless people have internet access. Homeless people have cell phones and internet, right? I've seen that many times, right? And they're going to do this by dispersing, and this is why the elected officials here are just salivating, because they're going to do all this, expanding broadband access and fixing crumbling bridges and roads by dispersing billions of dollars to state and local governments. All right. So everybody's jumping at the opportunity to get a piece of this money. Right? That this is why local officials want it to be passed. They don't care about the other part of it. Forget the other part, right? And I'll tie it together and I'll explain a little bit why. Right? So who really benefits? Who really benefits when this money is dispersed to local governments, to state governments and local governments? here in Yonkers, who really benefits, right? It's supposed to create economic sustainability and equality, or equity, I should say. It's supposed to create economic sustainability and equity, right? Biden called it a once-in-a-lifetime investment, right? Experts say the bill is needed, and they've been waiting a long time. I mean, the argument is that, a lot of our infrastructure here in this country is very old. It's crumbling, decaying, and that's the argument they've been making here in the city of Yonkers, right? A lot of the infrastructure is old, buildings are old. And remember Tasha Diaz? Remember her? Majority Leader?
Let's get it popping.
Remember that meeting? Well, where she talked about that, she felt that we needed to invest in already existing housing stock, right? She's talked all about rehabbing and repurposing already existing housing stock. And that's what the bill calls for, right? It calls for rehabbing, renovating, fixing up of our existing, stock, infrastructure stock or infrastructure, right? Instead of building new. So, it made me wonder. I started to think that, So is she, somebody setting her up? Is she kind of lining herself up for this money that's coming down from this infrastructure bill? Because, hey, we need to rehab and renovate our existing stock. I know I wanted more affordable housing, and I was saying yes and yes and yes. But you know what? When I thought about it, maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe we need to just look at what we already have. Right? Remember that? Who remembers that? So, most significant commitments of the infrastructure bill is transition to green power. So that's what we hear, right? Climate change, reducing our impact on the planet, our carbon footprint, right? And also, check this out, provide good paying union jobs. Well, that doesn't seem to have been happening here in Westchester County and the city of Yonkers, as our local labor girls and boys have been, demanding more opportunities to work on these developments. If you're going to get this money, especially if they had voted yes on it and they were going to get this windfall of money, would that have gone to our local area labor unions? Or will they use that money to go and seek, companies from Rochester, New Jersey, or wherever else, but here in the city of Yonkers, here in the Westchester County? But again, according to Biden, it's also to provide good paying union jobs. Now, the separate part of it, that's the infrastructure bill, right? That has to do with, again, infrastructure, buildings, bridges, roads, all that good stuff, broadband access. And then the separate part that they did not want to vote on that Friday, which led to Congressman Bowman voting no and against it, right? The separate part, the budget reconciliation piece, which consists of money for education, healthcare, climate initiatives, investing in communities often left behind. This is the part that Congressman Bowman, again, wanted to get passed as well. And because they wanted to wait, he voted no on the infrastructure part, right? So that's why he's not voting yes, if you didn't know. And I know that, he wants this bad, because I did go to the YMCA earlier, I guess around summertime last year, say at some point last year, warmer months. He was there speaking and announcing that he had, secured all this money that he was going to be bringing to Westchester, particularly to Yonkers, Mount Vernon, and his area that he represents. Very exciting news. And he said specifically it was going to be money for organizations that were, in the community, servicing the people directly, boots on the ground, in the trenches, right? So I was excited about that. And we mentioned that, and I mentioned that on the podcast when I had the Congressman on with me, right? So they didn't want to vote on this. They wanted to wait on this because, again, it's helping the people, helping our educational system, right? Healthcare always gets a back burner, right? So, I support him on that. Why not vote on both of it? I support him on that. And it scares me, the first part, the infrastructure bill, because what I see is this. I just see, individuals looking to take advantage of this money, right? Again, tied to what's going on with the developments, right? These guys, they see this money and these people start to position themselves to take advantage of it. And who really benefits but rich developers Rich contractors, elected officials who allocate, contracts to certain individuals, certain companies, right? And so this is why some people are pushing for this. Oh, let's vote for this. Let's vote for this so we can get this money. Because, folks, this is a huge wealth transfer. It's a huge wealth transfer. And I'm not saying that we don't need to improve our roads. Maybe we need to improve some bridges. I guess need to expand broadband access. We need to limit broadband access. These kids are going crazy on this thing. It's not doing society really any good. And we've lived for a very long time. We've functioned, humanity has functioned for a very long time without the internet. Right? And this is about creating jobs, but expanding broadband access, right? And they also want to improve the electrical grid. They want to electrify, or something what is called the entire country. Make sure that there are no parts of the country that is unable to go all electric, because that is the future, folks. They're trying to step away from fossil fuels. And you see, we had the whole issue with Sustainable Westchester, right? That's their whole thing. They're trying to sell you on this. Folks, I get it. It sounds like a good idea, and I'm not saying that it's not. What I'm saying is educate yourself on these matters. Don't let elected officials sell you. I learned a long time ago, many elected officials are great salesmen, right? And they will sell you things on that very easily because it pulls at your heartstrings. Take it from a salesman who's done very well in sales, right? You create a urgency, right? Demand, do it now. You have to respond now, and you pull at people's heartstrings, and that's all sales tactics. So I see it a mile away. And I'm not saying that it's bad. What I'm saying is really look into this stuff, right? Everything's go green, go green, go green. And then you get all these companies, again, these rich guys that already had the company set up new companies to take advantage of all this money, right? Like Sustainable Westchester. What do you think they're set up for? Right? Do you think they just want to be, good human beings and good, to humanity and help bring green energy? Right? These are the same people that have been destroying the country, that I should say, destroying the environment. These big corporations. Now they want to go green, and they want to be the guys that do it all, right? That change all green and sell you the products and everything, right? First you destroy it, then you want to come fix it. And either way, all the while they're taking all the money, right? So you got to think about that. We got to think about why individuals are pushing for this infrastructure part and not pushing as hard for the the budget, that reconciliation piece, which consists of money for education, healthcare. Right? And investing in communities often left behind. And that's what Congressman Jamal Bowman is fighting for. That's what he's fighting for. Right? So I got to give him a shout out for that. I got to, respect for that, because he put his neck out on the line. He's a junior, right? Or a freshman, I should say, not a junior, a freshman congressman. He's brand new, and he's already putting his neck out on the line there because he is in the minority. So you got to give some respect for that and credit, because, the powers that be can say, okay, Mr. Bowman, Congressman Bowman, you want to go against the system, the establishment, you're new, you're out of here. And I think that maybe certain people see that as a weak spot, as a way in, as an entry point, right? Because of what's going on, because of now maybe how other elected officials, those who are strong in Washington, pull a lot of money, may not be, siding with Bowman. So, it could be a reason why. But I think the comment that, the mayor may have shot himself, and he may have shot himself in the foot. He may have hurt his chances if he truly wants to run for Congress. The primary goal of the infrastructure bill is the expansion of the electrical grid to ensure that no part of the U.S. is left without the ability to operate fully electric. They want to move away from fossil fuel. According to an expert that's interviewed in this article that I sourced this information from, he said we need to get people out of automobiles and onto mass transit. It may be a controversial concept, but we need to get people comfortable with living in greater concentration. Urban lifestyles are more efficient in terms of carbon footprint. So you want to pull everybody to the cities, right? Everybody to the city, see what's going on here in Yonkers. They're pulling everybody into Yonkers. It's getting super crowded. super crowded. They want to go all electric with the cars. That will happen. But folks, one thing that you have to understand, and this is something that we need to really think about, is super important. I don't care who you are. By 2030, between 2025 and not definitely, but everyone agrees by 2030, the experts, economic experts, finance experts, by 2030, at least 50% or more of the population will be unemployed because there will not be enough jobs for them, because jobs are going to be now taken over by AI, computers, robots, unskilled quote unquote workers. Those making $20 or less will lose their job because they will be replaced by artificial intelligence, AI. And they're moving full steam ahead, which I don't understand, because isn't the goal to eliminate unemployment? Why create ways to create greater employment? And so that's why they're toying with the idea of universal income. Just in case you were wondering, why universal income? Because they're going to have to. It's not going to be a matter of people are just lazy. It's going to be a matter of most people can't find a job because there isn't one, right? And they're going to have to convert to this new monetary system. Folks, the fiat system is over. Fiat system is a monetary system that is not backed by gold. It's backed just by the trust and the belief that $5 or $10 is actually worth that. I mean, technically it has oil is backed, but we're going away from oil, right? So as we move away from fossil fuels and we move away from oil, guess what? The petrodollar is done. So we need a new currency that's going to be backed by you and I, human currency. We're going to be hearing currency. So prepare for yourself for that. I mean, you may not want to hear this. It may sound boring, but when it's in your face and it's impacting you, you're going to remember. Hopefully you will. If you're not so busy thinking about what the heck am I going to do, remember this podcast. But that is what's happening, folks. This is a huge wealth transfer, right? So they're using this money. They're giving away taxpayer money. And I'm not saying that some of the causes, maybe the ideas of what the money should go for aren't good ideas. They are. Education, healthcare, absolutely. But let's think about this, folks. This isn't the first time these massive bills have been passed. Massive amounts of money have come down from DC, right, to the state level, then onto the local level, the municipalities, I should say, throughout the state. And what actually has been achieved with that money? Mike Breen is talking about we need to make full gambling legal because we need the money. But we've gotten so much money before. We keep getting money. We're looking to get more money. And so is it really going to change? Is it really going to go to healthcare? Or is it really going to be just, again, a huge wealth transfer? These companies, these individuals taking advantage of the taxpayer money just being thrown at the states by Congress, and these individuals up in D.C., and then they take that money and then they're buying up all the real estate. So you could all be renters, because that's what the Great Reset is all about. You're going to become a renter. You will own nothing and you will be happy. That's the actual tagline. Yes, and Joe Biden and Prince Charles are supporting this idea, if you didn't know. Experts warn that, however, that development and projects need to be chosen carefully, and money will go first to projects that are already more than likely already in the pipeline when the money does come down, right? And it goes on to say infrastructure projects will require skilled workers. They will have to start training people to create the workforce. Yeah, temporarily. And once we build up this infrastructure, and then they're going to go to what? Because most of our industries, we're in the fourth industrial revolution. If you don't know, that's our AI, artificial intelligence, robotics engineering. We're shifting into that. No more, the industrial revolution and the manufacturing plants and all that stuff. Everything is going to be done, virtually, right? They don't even want you going to work anymore. They want you to stay home and do everything online. They don't really even want kids going to school. So all of that is just toying with ideas of this new society that we're going to roll into, folks. And again, this is real. This is very real. Most people just don't pay attention to this boring stuff. How many people watch C-SPAN? Actually watch C-SPAN. Sit there and watch C-SPAN, right? Well, the $1 trillion, 500 billion of it is actually new money. The other half was already allocated in past budgets. So it's just an overall thing. So that's. I just want to give a little brief on that, a little information on the infrastructure bill and stuff. But that's where I don't say where the comments stem from necessarily, but that's what was being spoken about in the interview with Mike Spano, where he made the comments that Congressman Bowman should go to jail because he voted no on the infrastructure bill. Well, guess what? I kind of agree with him on that, because I don't think that they will allocate the money appropriately anyway. And like an expert says, projects must be chosen wisely. And we know when people get their hands on this money, they're just going to go wild. They're going to spend the money however, as long as they're making the money, and then they're going to get the heck out of Dodge when it all comes crumbling down. Inflation is up by 17%, folks. Did you know that? Inflation is an imaginary tax. I'm sorry, not imaginary. I'm sorry. It's the hidden tax, I should say. It's the hidden tax, the invincible tax, not imaginary. I meant to say invincible tax, right? Because inflation is a form of tax. As the dollar is going to continue to weaken, folks, I'm not lying. I'm not telling you, it's going to continue to weaken, right? Invisible tax, right? I meant to say that, not imaginary. It's very real. It's very real. As the dollar weakens, you're going to see your money is not going to go as far as it used to, right? Inflation. They keep printing money out. Where do you think they're going to get this $500 billion? And where did you think that they got the other $500 billion from? From the printing machines owned by the Federal Reserve, right? So this money is going to come down. So everybody's chomping at the bits for this money. And then so they're discussing this infrastructure bill. Congressman voted no on it, right? I believe rightfully so. And as a result, Mayor Spano said, hey, he should have been arrested. That set off a firestorm of anger from the African-American community here in the city of Yonkers. The Yonkers NAACP released a statement. The Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus released a statement. Westchester Black Democrats released a statement, and I wanted to share that with you. And also, a lot on Twitter is going on. A lot of people are mentioning a lot of things on Twitter, right? And so you should go on there. It's going crazy. I mean, a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are very upset, and the mayor has not mentioned anything, has not spoken publicly about it. And people are upset about that. Right? So what do you think? Should the mayor make a statement? Why isn't he making a statement? Right? So I want to go to comments. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Lots of people upset. I doubt he's going to make a statement. I doubt it. Did he hurt his chances? Is the mayor a racist? Why hasn't the city council mentioned anything? Why have we not heard from the Yonkers City Council? It seems like they're the only African Americans in the community that's not upset about it. It just seems like they're not upset. So, I mean, hopefully I'll be speaking with the city council president soon. I'm hoping to have an interview there at City Hall, and, we'll see what maybe he has to say. He should definitely make a statement, at least to clarify what he means. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Considering so many people are upset, considering it's such a sensitive subject and hurtful subject to a large segment of the population here in the city of Yonkers, at the very least, if you truly consider running for Congress, at least apologize for that. All right. But definitely make a statement. That's what I'm saying. One of the council members did issue a statement. Oh, which one? Which council member? The Shanae Williams? I didn't see that today. Which member made a comment? I'm sorry, I didn't see that today. Because, I mean, I think the right thing to do would be to make a comment as well. Say, we're the checks and balances, right? That's why we're here. to check whoever the mayor is. And if the mayor, does something that, offends the constituents, the people of the city of Yonkers, then we need to speak out. We need to call for maybe an apology publicly. Right? Do you think that's fair? Is that fair of me to say? Or am I picking on them? Is that fair of me to say? Right? And I have some stuff I wanted to show from Twitter. A lot of the comments that people are making, and this is what I'm saying. I mean, you have to mention it. And by the way, there was last night, and again, the mayor did make a comment. Actually, he said that he vowed to close down duels. Anyone know what duels is? Have you heard about this? Did you hear about the shooting last night that left one employee dead? Unfortunately, our condolences to the family, and you will be in our prayers. And we're truly sorry to hear that. And it's unfortunate. Another shooting here in the city of Yonkers. Who was saying that the city's getting better? Who was saying that it was improving? So the mayor has made a statement, but it's in reference to the shooting that happened at Duels. And I want to read the article about that really quick. Yonkers bar employee shot dead in early morning dispute. An employee at a Yonkers bar was fatally shot early Sunday morning. The shooting happened at Duel's Tapas Bar and Lounge around 2 a.m. Officers say it started as a fight between two employees. Oh, look, it wasn't even the people who were there. Like two employees. Started between two employees when someone fired shots into the front, hitting the two men. Both men were taken to the hospital where one was pronounced dead. Police have a person of interest in custody. They have not released his name. Councilman Jan Rubo says police have responded to many complaints at Duels. He's calling on the mayor and police commissioner to shut the place down. Is he? Has there been too many complaints? Yonkers mayor vows to shut down bar after deadly shooting on Sunday. Yonkers mayor Mike Spano says he's taking the necessary measures to shut down a bar where a man was killed this weekend. Police say the shooting happened at Duel's Tapas Bar around 2 a.m. on Sunday. Officers say it started as a fight between two employees. That's crazy. The fight started as a fight between two employees. A DJ at the bar the night of the shooting tells News 12 they have always followed the rules, but people who live in the neighborhood disagree, and they say the bar has been a problem for years. One woman says people from the bar are always partying in the middle of the street. That's true. And dealing drugs. I don't know about the dealing drugs. Outside apartment, but hey, who knows? And the superintendent of a building across the street from the bar says he sees problems happening there all the time. Every time we have problems. Yeah, I've been to Duos once or twice before. And I remember one time I went my aunt's birthday. They threw a birthday party there. It never seemed like it was a rough crowd. I don't go do the club thing too much. That was a long time ago. I don't remember, but maybe it's changed. However, the money that Congressman Bowman was hoping to bring to the city of Yonkers consisted of money that was going to help reduce violence. Right? So the money that they did not want to vote on was going to be money for our communities that are often left behind, right? For education, for crime, for programs for kids, although I don't think this had anything to do with kids, either, adults at a nightclub at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. I mean, I don't know. I usually have to work on Mondays, right? It's on Black Westchester. Do you know who the council member was who made the comment? And did they make the comment out of pressure from people calling on the city council, wondering why they did not make a comment? Why no one made a comment, considering And do you who agrees or who agrees or disagrees? I should say disagree with people who believes that the mayor is being misunderstood. Is anyone out there that maybe thinks that the mayor, may have been misunderstood? Right? Maybe it was taken out of context. Is there anyone? I'm interested in hearing. And that's okay. It's okay. I want you to speak out. Not I haven't seen many individuals in support of the mayor. Every post I've seen, every comment I've seen has been, in anger at the comments, right? So I wonder if there's anybody out there who agrees or disagrees with the outrage by the people. Thank you for that. Thank you. See if I can get that. Yeah. So because I'm interested in hearing your perspective, your side. I want to get this article up in Black Westchester. So, Tasha Diaz. Oh, in support, and Tasha Diaz, Council Majority Leader Tasha Diaz. I'm interested in hear what she has to say on the matter. I am very interested. Is it Tasha Diaz? Is it Majority Leader? Oh shoot! Wow, this is incredible. This is incredible. I got to share this article with you guys, folks. This is well, look, hey, she's entitled to her opinion, right? Just like I'm entitled not to wear my mask. It's Council Majority Leader Tasha Diaz says Mayor Spano is not a racist. And I'll read that there article. Wow, Tasha. Popping. The Youngstown reported on Thursday, February 3rd, that during an interview on WVOX Radio 1460 AM with Phil Reisman and Matt Richter, Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano said that Congressman Jamal Bowman should have been arrested for voting no on the infrastructure bill. We all know about that. They should have arrested him for his no vote on the infrastructure. I'm a hardcore moderate in the middle. This is the words of Mayor Spano, and that is where most of us are and end up. But the Democratic Party over the past 2 years has been pushed to the left, and the reforms like bail reform have gone too far. And many would agree with that, because I've been hearing that from even individuals who first were for it, and they say, well, maybe it wasn't such a good idea, and things do need to change. But he does go on to say they have gone too far. Several organizations and community leaders immediately began to release statements pushing back against Yonkers mayor, demanding apologies, including the Black Dems of Westchester, Black Democrats of Westchester, the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus, Yonkers and New Rochelle branches of the NAACP, NYCD 16 Indivisible Westchester, the Progressive Women of Pelham, Jews for Racial and Economic Justice, and the New York State Working Family Party, just to name a few. The party that endorsed Lorna D. Jambalage, I forgot what her name is. She's the one that ran against Rubo in the general election. Now you guys want to be righteous. But at least one local elected official has now come out in support of Mayor Spano. Late Sunday night, CBS 2 News, of all people, she sends it to CBS 2 News. Why you didn't send it to me, Tasha? Why you didn't call me up? Should have called me. Came on my show. I would have let you. You could have sang a song about how the mayor is not a racist on my podcast if you had wanted to, right? You release it to CBS 2 News. They release a statement, receive a statement from you, the majority leader. In all my experiences with Mayor Spano, I can say he stands for inclusion and respect. He is not a racist. People can interpret remarks differently when politics are involved, but as a Black councilwoman and a woman of color, I will stand with Mike Spano any day. That's what she said. Those are her words. While Spano may have the support of Councilwoman Diaz, Westchester County Board of Legislative Majority Leader Christopher Johnson, who represents District 16 in Yonkers, also District 1 on the council side, Shanae Williams, issued a statement Sunday evening. Everybody's just jumping in on this after appearing on People Before Politics Radio, condemning recent racist comments made by Mayor Spano. All right. This is our County Legislator Christopher Johnson. The ignorant comments made by Mayor Spano in reference to Congressman Jamal Bowman's vote on the infrastructure bill and bail reform are unacceptable, says the majority leader, Christopher Johnson. Black people are 5 times more likely to be arrested than their white counterparts, even when they are not committing a crime. For the mayor to suggest, even in poor judgment, that the Congressman Bowman be arrested for taking a vote on a bill is racist. It's hurtful, particularly to people who live in the city who look like Congressman Bowman and I, who face those unjust realities every day. I have disagreed with Mayor Spano over many issues, but have never resorted to calling for his arrest. A full apology needs to take place immediately. It's unclear where the rest of the Yonkers Council members stand, since there has been no public comment from them or any other elected official that represent Yonkers. You see, folks? You see, constituents? I'm going to run. That's it. I'm running. I said, we need new. I promise you, whatever you guys say, I'm going to do it. All right? I'm going to do it. All right? And I would definitely be standing up. That's what you guys want me to do. I'm going to go there peacefully. I promise. It'll be peacefully, no violence. And I'm going to demand an apology. I'm going to go there and right there on my live, if I was a council member, and demand an apology at the man's office. You need to apologize right now on my live. You know, that's what I would do. So if you want somebody like that, vote for me, because I can't. I just can't. I can't deal with this anymore. They do not represent us. They don't represent us. They don't speak out for us. This article says, now, no public comment from them, any other elected officials that represents Yonkers. Black Westchester invited Mayor Spano to appear on our radio show, People Before Politics, this Sunday to hear what he has to say in the matter. We are still waiting on an answer from his office. You're not going to get one. You're not going to get one. All right? You're going to continue going to wait. Right? Because I already know. So, yeah. Well, how do you feel about that? Any, my African-American brothers and sisters that may be watching my show right now, how do you feel about Majority Leader Tasha Diaz, an African-American woman? Although her last name is Diaz, she is African-American. She is a Freeman. Her last name is Freeman. How do you feel about her remarks to CBS 2 in support of the mayor? I think she's the only African-American person I think that I have seen so far that has supported the mayor on these comments. I mean, some of you guys got to be outraged. But again, that goes to show who the majority leader really is. Remember on the affordable housing vote? Remember that? It's a track record there. And she had to do that. I'm sorry to say. You know what? Let's give the majority leader some slack. Let's give her some, because she had to do that. She is funded by Zahi Jeris. He's not going to go against, his team. He's not going to do that. And there was a need for one African-American, at least from the council, to say something, and guess who they pick? The same person that they picked to switch up a vote on the housing ordinance. Tasha Diaz, do you enjoy being used? I mean, I'm just asking you a question. Can you at least come on my show? One question: do you enjoy being used? And then we can end it. Because you're being used, and you have to be okay with it, because it's obvious. It's obvious. And I wonder what else they're going to do. They're going to use you for. Wait till that comes out. But they use you because Shanae Williams wasn't going to say nothing like that. No way. But she ain't say nothing, but she's not going to say that. That's for sure. No sirree, Bobby. Council president is not saying that. She's not stupid. She's not stupid. Very smart. Very smart. Go to that song. Gee, man, no way. Indivisible. I can't really be backing y'all all the way like that on this one. Gotta stay. Right? Because the organizations that represent them, that support them so hard when they out there campaigning, like Indivisible, supporting Corazon, they make a statement. They don't expect the person that they support in a city hall to say something. I would. Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus. Yo, Shanae, what's up? We taking your honorary badge back. Give me that membership back. You ain't gonna stand up. That's what I mean. I would expect that. That's all I'm saying. And I'm very surprised. But I'm not surprised at the majority leader making a statement in support of the mayor. At least she remains consistently suspect, you know? So, yeah, that's it. That's it. I want to go over a little bit about the infrastructure bill, just explain that to you. Discuss, why Congressman Bowman voted no, and talk a little bit more about this racial thing. And how is it going to impact the race if he decides to run? Is the mayor going to still run against Bowman now that he's catching all this flack? Oh, does he even care? I mean, if he is a racist, like people say, he's probably thinking black people don't vote anyway. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you're mad, you don't vote anyway. So, I mean, is it that attitude? Don't need to make a statement. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, and maybe what was done, look, I guess, hey, Tasha, you owe us. I came out to your DMX party and I bumped and grind with you. You better put out a statement. But he doesn't care because, folks, believe it or not, they know who votes and doesn't vote. They know this. They look at it, they analyze it. Okay, this segment is going to vote, so we're going to focus on this. These people over here are going to vote, we'll focus over here. These people, yeah. How many signs do you see really in the southwest side and south side really up compared to elsewhere, other districts? So, I mean, if we don't vote, if we don't make a strong impact in voting, if we're not a strong voting base, a strong voting force, we're not going to get anything like that. We're not going to get look, if we were strong, if we came out and voted and made an impact in the elections, best believe he would be apologizing. Best believe all of them would be apologizing whenever they did something stupid like that. But since we don't, they know. The people that are going to come out and vote, they don't care for an apology. They don't care, and they know who's going to vote. And to appease people, they give us majority leaders Tasha Diaz's comments. Here you go. Take that. Take that. At least you didn't say let's get him popping anywhere in their statement. Right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But not surprising. Not surprising. But again, we have to come out and vote, and that's exactly why. That's exactly why. Because you're not going to get the same level of respect as other groups of people who do come out and vote, who make an impact, who also come out to these events and spend money. And I'm not saying you got to go to events and spend money, but I mean, you might have to go to some events and spend some money, but they're going to always support and, be there for those that make an impact in their elections. And again, they know who votes. They know who comes out and votes. They see the statistics. They see the numbers. They see it. They know who they have to focus on. And certain parts of the community, certain groups, within our community are not known for coming out to vote. And so therefore they don't need to go as hard to get us, to want to vote for them. Whatever. I don't need to apologize publicly. So what? And that goes to show, and that speaks to the strength that ultimately people have. Not a whole lot. Look at the council. Look at the council. They don't even say nothing. Tasha Diaz says something, but in support of the mayor. Complete opposite of the rest of the African American community here in the city of Yonkers. Tasha Diaz, do you not care? Do you not care? Do you not think that's going to affect you? Is it going to affect her? I mean, I want to hear if anyone is going to say, we're not voting for Tasha Diaz. Someone that's African-American, groups, organization, we're not voting for these people. We don't care if they're African-American also, because look how they did us. This is what I've been saying. Exactly what I've been saying. Sell out, sell out, sell out, sell out. Sell out, sell out, sell out. That's what I've been saying.
Let's get it popping. We're going to leave it where it is. Let's vote on this. Let's get it popping.
Sell out. Sold out again. Again, no support from elected officials, like the article said on the in CBS there. No support. So that's sell out. I don't know what else to say, folks. It's time to change these elected officials. Time to get them out of here. I don't care if they're black, Hispanic. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's obvious that none of them represent the African American community. None of them. So all that excitement about, we have a first, this, and we have an all black, majority council. And what does that mean? What does that mean? And let me tell you, folks, let me be straight up honest. I don't even all the way agree that, I mean, maybe because I'm Hispanic, I don't know. I don't know. I see what people are saying in terms of weaponizing, the law enforcement against an African American. And please, I'm not a sellout. That's for dang sure, but I just, I always consider myself, I really like think things, really analyze things and stuff. And again, you have to understand how society is also. People are just, like some people are just their everyday life. And I'm not trying to make excuses for it, but you also have to, can't just say, that was definitely, he was being racist. He wanted to, he's got, like to jump on like that. Really, you should be more upset about the black women in council that ain't say nothing, or the one that says something in support of it, whether he's right or wrong. Whether I believe he's right or wrong or not, I still feel that your anger should really be aimed at those who you had hoped for would do more, because you should already know how certain individuals are going to be. It shouldn't be a surprise, right? It shouldn't be a surprise. What's a surprise is that when you think that because individuals are a certain color, that's going to mean something, and it doesn't. It doesn't. Black History Month. Look at that. And she's defending it. And look, I'm not, and I can't even be a hypocrite myself, because I can't knock her for defending it, because I kind of don't myself see it, but I'm going to support the people. And if the people want a public apology, then hey, we need a public apology. Regardless of how I feel, the people want a public apology, and the people are most important. And that's why I support those who are demanding at least public comments or something, at least validate the individuals, validate the African American community, just validate them. Say, you know what? Look, however I feel, my apologies. I'm sorry if I offended people. That was in no way what I meant by it, or meant it in that way. I honestly did not. But because people felt offended and I may have hurt people or I did hurt people, I want to sincerely apologize. I do, because that's not what I wanted to do. That's not my goal. And maybe I thought I was being funny, a bit, just humorous. Maybe I just, didn't, I struck out there, right? It didn't land right. And I apologize for that. I'm so sorry. And I'll be more consciously aware next time. That's it. I write that down and read it. That's it. I think that's at the very least what Mike Mayor Spano should do, at the very least. But more importantly, what the big topic is here, what the real important thing is here, is that not one person from the city council, not one of the, African-American women supported any of the statements made by the African-American organizations and those within the African-American community, the leaders. They stayed quiet, except for Majority Leader Tasha Diaz.
Let's get it popping.
She said, no way is Mike Spano racist. No way. So that's what you guys should be more upset about. The fact that happened, the fact that they continue to do nothing for the actual people that vote them in. I don't care about what color they are. I don't care about what they do. That's what I care about. So that's what we need to focus on, folks. Do you have any comments? Do you have any concerns? Do you have any questions? Or do you have any criticism? I'll take them now before I get off. You can say whatever you want. Say whatever you want. But that's how I see it. Unfortunately, I think that the big issue here is the lack of comments by the city council. That's how I see it. That's the issue. Again, that's sad. And I just want to, did I share this with you? Did I share this? Did I share that? No, I want to share this with you really quick. I think it's lovely. I wish I could play Stevie Wonder's "Isn't She Lovely" on here, but they won't let me play the podcast. But I do want to share this with you because just think about this. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely? I don't know the other words, so I'm just going to keep repeating that. Isn't she? Look at this. Beautiful, huh? Isn't it beautiful pictures? Oh, so beautiful. Ay, qué lindo. Qué lindo. Qué lindo. Well, there you go, folks. There you have it. That's my show for tonight. Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics, Unfiltered.
Let's get it popping. Like I said, political games that are being played.
Political games that are being played. You heard it right out of the mouth of Majority Leader Tasha Diaz, as you see her there hugged up with Mayor Mike Spano, who she defended today in comments that she sent over to CBS 2 News, saying that Mayor Mike Spano is not a racist. The only African-American to come in support of the mayor, and the only African-American elected official, and the only elected official that represent Yonkers to make a comment at all. Don't let that go over your head. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Thank you for joining me. Remember, at the polls, who did you dirty?
Like I said, political games that are being played. You can apply.
I am Freddie Vasquez. That was Basement Politics Unfiltered. Mayor versus the Congressman. Did Mayor Spano completely destroy his chances for Congress? And are you upset that no one except for Majority Leader Tasha Diaz has made any comments from the city council? And those comments were in support of the mayor. Yes, the Majority Leader, an African-American woman. Who's upset? That's messed up. Tasha Diaz, really? You supported? You? Unbelievable, folks. I'm going to be thinking about that when I go to bed tonight. Tomorrow's episode is definitely going to be on the Majority Leader. I'll see you tomorrow, Tasha.
You could have.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Game over.
No!